What's up everybody, it's Rob from the Basement Bike Shop. And in this video we're going to go over the step-by-step process of the proper way to change a tire and tube. So the first thing I'm going to do, if I don't have a bike stand, is turn the bike upside down. And then prop up the seat with something just to get the back tire off the ground. And then we'll go ahead and start loosening the axle nuts. I'm using a 17mm socket. Most bikes are 17mm, some are different. And if you run pegs, like I do on my left side, then you'll need an extension on that socket. Now if you don't run chain tensioners, you can skip this next step. But if you do, then you have to loosen the chain tensioners. And mine are just a Allen screw through the center of my dropout. And I'm going to loosen that up all the way on both sides so that my axle can slide all the way to the front of my dropout. After that, we're going to loosen up the brakes. Start with the barrel adjuster on the lever. Turn it all the way in. And then if you have a barrel adjuster on your frame, turn that all the way in. And that should be enough. And then squeeze the brake pads together against the rim and pull the straddle cable out of one side or the other. Some of them only come out of one side. Mine, you can take both sides out. Of course, if you don't run brakes, you can skip this step too. And now we're ready to take our chain off. And all you're going to do is push it to one side and pedal backwards. Watch your fingers so they don't get pinched in there. And then just slide it off to the side and slide your tire out. Then I'm just going to hang my chain. I usually do it the same way every time. It doesn't really matter, but consistency just always yields better results. The next step, if you didn't pop your tube and you're just changing your tires, is you have to let the air out of the tube as much as you can, and then break the bead all the way around so that your tire can slide to the center of the rim. Now if I can, I try not to use tire levers, but I'll show you both ways. So the first way, I put the valve stem on the bottom and my feet up on the rim. And with the tire unbeaded, I'll pull up and push over and just force the tire off of the rim. Now with tires that have a higher maximum PSI, they're going to be more difficult to do this method with. And then once the tire is completely off, just push the valve stem out of the rim and keep everything lined up. I'll get to that later. Now to do it with tire levers, we have the park tire levers here. The thing to remember is that the little notch in the bottom is where the rim goes. It's the number one mistake that most people make when trying to use a tire lever. And if you don't do it, it won't work properly. So first you put the tire lever under the tire and then pull it back so that the rim is in the groove. And it'll peel right over, no problem. If you have it in too far like this, you're either going to snap your tire lever or possibly puncture your tire, or it's just going to be a lot more difficult. Pull it back to the notch and you'll peel the tire right over the rim. And then you hook the other side to your spoke. And then grab your second tire lever and don't go too far away from your first tire lever. Start close at first, exact same thing, and then peel it right over. You know, if it's a higher PSI yielding tire, then maybe only go 2 inches away and then 2 inches away. And then I'm just going to work my way right around until the tire is loose enough to pull that whole side right off. Now you can just slide the tire lever along the bead, but if you're trying to save the tube, like you're just changing tires, I wouldn't advise doing this just in case you might accidentally pop the tube. When you do the other side, it's pretty much the same thing. Get the tire lever under, put the rim in the little channel on the back side, and hook it to your spoke. Work your way right around. Now if you're changing a flat, once you get the tire off, you're going to keep everything lined up. This is the one thing that bike shops do that people don't. And they wonder why they get 2, 3, 4 flats right in a row. We're going to take the tube out and we're going to keep that lined up also. Then we're going to overinflate the tube until we can find the leak. We're just going to keep filling it, and I've already had to fill it till it was 4 times the size. And then I'm just hovering my hand over the tube on the inside and outside to feel where the leak is. If you still can't feel it, you can put the tube underwater to see where it's leaking. But once you find out where it's leaking, if it's on the outside, you're going to want to check the tire right in that spot to see if there's a metal shaving that's stuck in or a thorn that you can't see from the outside. And if it's a hole on the inside, you're going to check your rim strip to make sure that it's lined properly, that there's no burrs or no spokes sticking out. You don't want the same flat 2 times in a row. After that, we take our new tube and we're going to put just a little bit of air in it, just so it holds shape when we put it inside the tire. You're going to line the valve stem up with the lettering on the tire, just because it's a nice clean look. You don't have to if you don't want to. It's just the way I do it. And then we're going to get ready to put the tire and tube back on the rim. Now, a lot of people do this differently, but how I do it is I put my valve stem through first and put the back side of the bead of the tire in the rim. After that, I start working the tire in all the way around, little by little. Again, if you don't have to use tire levers, I advise not doing it. I only use them if I have to. And then when I start the front side of the tire, I start by the valve stem. And then after I get it in at that point, I push the valve stem up and I pull it back down. This will make sure that I don't have a pinch flat right by the valve stem. And then work my tire back on all the way around. Now, if you do have to use tire levers to put it back on, you're going to do it the opposite. The back channel where I told you where the rim has to go is where the tire is going to go. And then you're going to have it upside down and you're going to peel it up. I would still put it on by hand as far as I could before I started using the tire levers. After that, we're going to put a little bit of air in the tire and then check the bead all the way around. Make sure that the little line on the tire is parallel to the rim on both sides all the way around. If it isn't, you can try and pull it out a little bit with your hands. If that gets a little difficult, then I've put a little bit of soap and then overinflate it until it just slides out and pops into place. After that, we're going to fill the tire up all the way. Put our valve cap back on. And then we're going to put the wheel back on. First thing we're going to do, loosen our axle nuts, make sure any washers we have are to the outside. Pull my chain to the outside of the frame, put it on the back cog first, and then put it on the front sprocket and pedal forward or backwards. Then we're going to hook the brakes back up, put the straddle cable on one side, push the pads to the rim, and hook the other side in. If you have chain tensioners, we're going to tension the chain. Now your chain tension shouldn't be totally tight, but it shouldn't bounce enough to hit your frame. And then spin your chain a little bit. There'll be a tight spot and a loose spot. You always want your tight spot to be set to what I'm talking about. If it's too tight, it'll just wreck the bearings in your hub. It will wreck your chain. That's about perfect. And then we're going to set the other side so that the tire and rim are straight in the dropout. Now, if you don't have chain tensioners, I'm going to get into that in a minute and show you an easy way to do that. All right, next we're just going to tighten down our axle nuts. Put our extension on and tighten down our peg side. And then I'm just going to tighten up my chain tensioners just a little bit, just so they snug against my axle. Now, if I have a bike without chain tensioners, what I do is I pull the tire back all the way and I tighten up the non-drive side. Then I pull the tire over with one hand to where I want my chain tension to be, and I tighten the axle nut. After I get it perfect, I loosen up the non-drive side, set my tire straight in the dropout, and then tighten it back up. Again, make sure it doesn't hit the frame. There's a little bit of bounce in it, but not too much. But it's not too tight. Well, that's about it for this video. Thanks for watching. If you like what I'm doing here, give me a like, hit that subscribe button, and I'll keep these videos coming. If you have any questions or suggestions for future videos, you can leave a comment below, or you can send me an email. I try to put a video out every week, so if you don't want to miss it, you can turn on those alerts and you won't miss it.